Hello and welcome to Legalese. My name is Vince Perryman and I'm a local attorney with the law offices of J. Vincent Perryman. Each month, Legalese focuses on a wide range of legal issues and topics. Today's show covers the Shelby County General Sessions Court. With us now is Judge Phyllis Gardner of the Shelby County General Sessions Civil Court. Judge Gardner, thank you for being with us today.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Many people don't, when they think of General Sessions, they either don't understand where that fits into the court structure in Tennessee, or they think of it as what they see in the People's Court. So if you would, give us a brief overview of General Sessions.
Well, okay. General Sessions actually is divided into two different types of courts. I am judge in General Sessions Civil Division 2. We have 6 divisions, and we are in the old courthouse, as we call it, the pretty courthouse, the one that's beautiful, as opposed to 201 Poplar, which is where the General Sessions criminal court judges are. They handle all criminal cases over there. So the General Sessions civil judges do not handle any inmates or defendants of that nature or any of those cases that involve criminal acts. We handle matters property law, for example, landlord-tenant. We handle automobile accidents, personal injury cases, consumer cases involving, say, if you were to buy a car, a lemon, something like that. Contracts, actions to recover personal property, just a number of things. General Sessions Civil does not handle divorces or domestic cases. However, I must add, as I've told people, we generally handle the divorces where they were never married, where people are sometimes arguing over a blender or something that there's no clear division of title to things. So we see a little bit of everything there. What I can tell you is that I think it's the crossroads to Shelby County. People, all parts of the gamut appear there, and it's just a wonderful place to work. I love working there.
So in General Sessions, I think a lot of people when they think of it and they see the stuff on TV with Judge Joe Brown and shows like that, they wonder, do they need to have an attorney, or how does the representation work down there?
Well, that's a really good question. I think they always need to have an attorney. That's always the best course of action, because in many, many situations, one side may be represented by counsel. The other side may not. That person or that side would be pro se. That's without counsel, that's representing themselves, which is not a good thing in most instances. Those people, while the law will allow them to appear in court and to represent themselves, and in some situations they can do, and they can do fairly well, those people are bound by the same rules as the attorneys. Obviously, the attorneys have studied and have practiced and have been, many of them, with a number of years under their belt. So it's a very unfair advantage, because with one legal objection, a person proceeding pro se can have his case completely shut down, and he can't proceed because of legal issues. So we try to encourage people to have attorneys. I think it's in their best interest. Some people choose to go forward and end up doing all right, but as I said, I really prefer to have the attorneys in there. As a judge, I certainly cannot help someone. People seem to think, well, there's an attorney on the other side, you'll be mine, and that's simply not the way it works. I am a referee. I have to be neutral and detached. I don't cheer for either side. I just interpret the rules, and I make rulings.
Mm-hmm. And as far as what's the caseload down there in General Sessions?
It's big. It's huge. I don't know the exact number because they have gone up so much, but earlier this week I had 250 cases in a day. We have 2 dockets each day. We have a docket at 10 o'clock and one at 1:30. As judges, we don't control our own docket. The General Sessions Court clerk, Mr. Otis Jackson, handles that, and his staff, and they will set a docket. So a case may be set in my courtroom once or twice, and then it can move to another court, any one of the other 5 divisions. So we don't hold on to our cases. They rotate through the courts. So we really have no idea of knowing how many we're going to have on any given day. But particularly in areas where there are high collections, a number of collection cases, for example, credit cards, and people will come in and represent the credit card companies or various other entities, the dockets can be huge. We had standing room only on the day of the inauguration. I felt like we had an overflow from Washington. Everybody was standing all around. But I try to take my time with each person and make sure that he or she understands what the ramifications are and give them an opportunity to choose what they want to do about their case. So regardless of the numbers, we try to give the individual attention that we need.
And do you think that the plaintiffs or the individuals in the cases find it confusing as far as the rotation of, one day they're down there and they're before one judge and another they're before another?
I think that it is a difficult concept, and I try to say it. I try to repeat myself, which is not always hard to do. But I try to let them know what's going on, where they are in the procedural part of of their case, and to also let them know that when they come back on their next setting to check the calendar board in the hallway, which will show them the proper division for them to be in. Even with that admonition, many times people will come back to the same court, and there's a lump in your stomach when you look and you see someone's case has not been called. You finish the docket and they're in the wrong court. Because once the gavel goes down on a judgment without consent by both parties, within 10 days, their only recourse is to appeal the matter to circuit court. So we always encourage people to check and make sure they're in the right place.
Mm-hmm. As far as the most of the cases you see down there, I mean, what are you seeing more evictions or what are collection actions? What variety of cases? We're
seeing more of those actions that reflect on people's lack of resources. The economic crisis started showing up a while back in General Sessions Court. I noticed it first with the number of foreclosures, and noting that the number of foreclosures was really going up. In turn, the number of collection cases where, for example, a nice married couple, older folks, who are in court probably for the first time ever. They're on a fixed income, and they can't pay off a credit card or some type of expense maybe they signed for a car for a child. That's something that's really important to note, that some people seem to think that if they sign for a car or they sign for a lease for a child for someone else, as long as they're not using it, they might not be responsible for it. And I explained to them, no, you're individually and severally liable. And so they are responsible. But moreover, even in cases where people knew what they were doing, they just don't have the resources to pay them. And it's scary for people to come to court.
Mm-hmm. When we return, we'll continue our discussion about the Shelby County General Sessions Court. Please stay with us.